Oh,
Boom, we are live.
hello YouTubers, it's Boomer and Zoomer here with the part 2 of our
Fishing.
What did we call it? Fishing?
Yeah.
Not just fishing. Okay, fishing.
Fishing review and
Yeah.
discussion.
Yes,
Part
fishing
2.
season. We'll call it fishing season.
Fishing season part 2.
Part 2. Part 2.
So, a continuation of our last episode. In our the episode before,
I just changed the hat. He's got the same shirt on.
In our previous episode, we talked about what's inside your tackle box and some things maybe you could have in there. But in this episode, we're going to be talking about your pole
Your rod
or rod
and reel.
and how to attach your reel to
Yeah.
your rod.
Yeah, how to attach it, different components, okay? Okay, so this is your rod, like we said on the last video, okay?
Well, why don't you tell them what type of rod it is?
This one, cause I don't know what type of rod it is. There's
company. It's Shakespeare.
Shakespeare?
Yeah, it says it right here.
Oh, okay, yeah, this is one of the famous name brands. You're right, Joe. It's a Shakespeare. I mean, you know, there's many different brand names of rods and reels. You know, you can get them separate, you can get them together. You know, most of the time you'll find them at most of your sporting goods stores or Walmarts or wherever you go.
Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah, they come together as a set, rod and reel, or you can buy separate. When you get to be more experienced and you get to know, you know, the different brands, you might want to buy a better reel. Okay, and the reason is, what happens with the reel is after you do a lot of casting, you'll get to know, you know, with the cheaper reels, the string has a tendency of getting tangled up. Yeah, because what happens is with the fishing string, and there's also different kinds of fishing string. You know, this whole fishing thing it gets pretty intricate. But what happens with the fishing string, from casting and reeling, it starts to get it's not straight anymore. You know, when you first put it on there, it's nice and straight. But then when you fish and reel, it starts to get like curved.
Yeah.
And it starts to get worn, and when that happens, it gets jammed up and caught up inside the reel. All right. That being said, hold this.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna go over the reel a little bit, the different components. Okay. This type of open reel, and there's other ones that are all enclosed, and the string just comes out, and those are terrible. Stay away from those.
What company is this? So the viewers might know if they want to get one.
This one, I don't even know. What is it? This is a very old reel. I don't even know where I got it.
Let me see.
Quantum.
A Quantum SR9.
I never heard of Quantum. But anyway, I'm just using this to show you the different components. I have other ones here that are attached to my reel.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that as well.
That'll be in part 3
For
this episode.
actually, hold this. Let me see if I can get this
other.
other reel, just so to get an idea of the different reels.
Let me put this one over here
Yeah.
on the side. There we go.
All right, I'm a little stuck here right now.
So this is going to be basically a 2-part episode.
Well, maybe not.
Oh. One of the reels decided to say hello.
Okay. Well,
Well, one of the reels decided
all
to say
right.
hello.
So here's. Okay, this is one of the better reels that I use because it's already attached, and this is a Shimano brand. Okay, and again, there's different variations. You can see the size difference. One is smaller, one is bigger. Okay, and you got to use your common sense. You don't want a reel that's too big for the pole. I mean, you don't want to have the great big huge reel, you know, on a very tiny pole. Okay. Okay, you can see the size difference. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'll use this Shimano because it's already mounted and it has the string in it. All right.
Well, tell them about the rod itself.
Yeah. Well, the rod, what is this rod?
Isn't that like a...
This is a quick stick. Okay, there's different rods. There's all kinds of different rods. They have the ugly stick, which is very popular.
Mm-hmm. I like that one. You've used it.
Yeah, it's a good size, and there's different lengths. Okay, they have real long ones, 7 feet. I like to go with the shorter ones
Well, there's
because
also the strength of the rod, right?
yeah, the strength of the rod. There's and also many of them come apart. They come apart.
Which could be useful.
It's very useful for storage in the trunk of the car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then you put them back together,
Well, I mean, what's your review of this rod?
and then you have to run. Of course, you have to take your string out each time you do it,
We'll
and then restring it. Another good thing to do is
unstring it.
with your string when you fish. If you spend, you should occasionally. Okay, you can see how the string has gotten curly here. Okay, it also gets dry rotted if it sits too long. It'll get dry rotted, and what happens then is it'll break very easily on a snag, and you lose your lure.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to avoid that. So what do you do? Okay, so what you do from time to time is you pull out a good part of the string, like if you've been casting all day, and you've been casting out maybe 30 feet, 40 feet from shore, okay? So you want to pull out that amount of string, 30 or 40 feet, just cut it off and start with fresh string behind it, okay? And you can avoid, having problems with old string that's been used, okay? All right, now I'm getting jammed up here because, okay, so what's the components of the reel? All right, let me use this one because it's already off. All right, there's a few components. Okay, this part is the part that gets mounted onto the rod. Where's the other rod? Yeah. All right. So this rod has the front piece that has some type of screwing mechanism. It could be like this, or it could be different, okay? The reel, okay, and it has a notch. It's made to accept pretty much any standard size reels, okay? So you mount the reel by fitting it into the part that's cut out there that's made to hold that reel. Okay, then you bring this piece down. Okay, now it's gonna give me a problem. Okay, so it should sit right in there. Again, if the reel is too big, it may not fit. Okay, which this one looks like it's gonna fit. Okay, so then you screw that piece back, and you continue to screw it all the way back. And all the way, it's a little too big because there's a little gap here. This should screw all the way down, but it'll still work because it's holding it. All right. So this reel is really a little bit too big for this rod, but for showcase purposes only for this video, I'm going to show you that the component. Okay, here's the handle part. This part, the spool, is where this one doesn't have any string on it. But the way you do it, there's a button here in the front that you push in, and it disconnects the spool part. This is the part you're gonna put your string on. Because when you buy the string, it comes on a different reel. So you have to open up the package and wrap it around this spool. Okay, and you wanna fill up pretty much all of the spool part in here. Now there's a hole, some of them have a hole that you stick I think this one still has string in it, but there's a little hole where you stick the string in it that it'll hold it so that all you have to do is just keep wrapping it around, and you have to do it manually. Okay. Once your string is on there, I'll show you on this one. We'll switch. Thanks, Joe. Jump in here anytime you want. All right, so this is what it looks like once the string is on there. Yeah, you just pop it back on.
Here we see the other.
Right.
So I can pop it
Okay.
back on.
Now, there's a couple different things, a couple different parts on this reel. In the back here, if you hear that click, okay, you have what's called the drag. What this does, this tightens and loosens the tension on the string. So, in other words, when you cast your line out, okay, it's not going to affect how you cast the line. What it's going to affect is, if there's a fish on the line, this drag, what's called the drag, if you loosen it, the fish will be able to run with your bait. Okay, if you leave it very loose, it'll run with the bait and it'll pull more string. If your drag is very tight, it's not going to allow the fish to take any string. You know, he's just going to, once he takes that bait and he goes, he's just going to get hooked right away. Okay. It's important because of the way different fish bite. You know, some fish will just, they won't just take the entire lure. They might nip at it. And that's why you want a loose drag for those type of fish, because you know, once they decide to hit it and take it and go, you may not hook them right away. You want them to take some of the line with it, and then you can pull it back and tighten the drag, and now you got them hooked, and you can reel them in.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, other types of fish that, you know, take the bait, they'll swallow it whole. They're easy, you know. They got the bait. All you got to do is hook them. You know, pull it.
Yeah.
Pull your rod up and hook them, and you got them. Okay. Then you have a little selector knob here, which all that does is that switches the string is stuck here. All right, let me have the other reel. Where's the other reel?
Right here.
Oh, it's on here. All right. This little selector knob, and it's in different places. Some are on top, some are on the bottom. And, oops, I didn't pop. I didn't pop my ring on there correctly. Okay. This. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, this bobber was not on there all the way. Okay, that's the inside mechanism. All right, let me put it back on. Yeah, don't do what I do. Make sure when it snaps, it's not snapped. There, it's snapped. Now and it catches. Okay. So this lever, all it does is it changes the handle. Okay, this is when it's on the left or the right. The handle will only spin in one direction. You can't reverse it. There's a middle spot where you put the selector, and you can turn the reel in either direction, which means that when that line is out, it can either go out because it's spinning, or you can reel it in. It'll go in either direction. When you put the selector knob in left or right, it's only going to go in one direction. It will not go in the opposite direction. It's only going to go in the direction that it reels it in. It won't allow the line to go out.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's it. All right, this little piece here. Okay, watch. Okay, this piece, it flips. It flips in two different directions. And what that does is when your line is when you run it through there, okay? This is for when you cast. There's this particular one has a button here that you pull it back, and when you pull it back, it releases. When you pull it back, it releases the line so you can cast. It releases the line so the line is able to go out. As soon as you click it the other way and it flops, this piece flops this way, now the line can't come back, cannot come back to you. It can only, it's only going in the direction, I'm sorry, it's a reverse. It can only go out. Okay? So when you have it this, you have to have this up in order to be able to cast. Once you turn this and it flips, now you can reel it in. And it won't go out any further. That's what I meant to say. It will not go out any further. You can only reel it in. Okay? So when it's up, it'll go in both directions. As soon as you click it and you reel it, you set it. You're setting your line.
Yep.
Okay. And that's that. All right. And also too, I mean, there's different types of fishing, as you know. What we showed you in the last videos was using lures, but then there's also where you use, you know this, right? Where you use the bobbers.
Yeah.
Where you just cast it out there.
You let it sit.
Yeah, you let it sit. You put your bobber. I don't have bobbers.
No, you don't.
Nah, but we didn't do a lot of bobber fishing last year. But you can fish by using bobbers and a lure or live bait, worms.
Yep, worms.
Yeah, usually worms, earthworms. So you set your line, you have your hook, and you set your live bait at the end of the line, and then you set your depth of the line from where the bobber sits on top of the water. Okay, might be a foot, foot and a half, 2 feet, depending how deep the water is. And then you just cast it out there, and you watch the bobber. When that bobber starts hitting, when the fish starts hitting it, that bobber's going to start moving. You're going to want to pick up your rod very gently and feel for when that fish is going to hit that line, and then just yank it and set it, pull them in, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Why don't before we finish here, why don't you show the audience some of your rods that you have?
My
Besides
rods?
these two here.
Yeah. Well, I have.
Besides the
this one that I
Shakespeare,
showed.
and this is the quick stick.
That's yeah. Oh, the rods, yeah.
Well,
All
what's
right.
your?
Well, this one was the. This one is actually an ugly stick.
Oh, that's an ugly.
Yeah, it's made by, what was it? Shakespeare. Yes.
Yeah.
Shakespeare ugly stick. Now, ugly sticks come in different sizes too. It's not just. It's just like a model, make and model kind of thing. Okay, Shakespeare ugly stick. All right. And this one is a short. This is one of my favorite ones because of it's not that long. Again, the reason I like the shorter rods is because in an area where you got a lot of trees around, you have room to cast. If it's too long, you're not going to have room to cast. You need a big clear area.
And you'll get snags.
Yeah, you'll get snags up in the tree and what have you. These, again, some of these rods, some of these reels are old.
That one's a real.
I don't know where. All right, now this one's a bigger one. This one is for more open areas. And I used this one last year, and it's also got a different type of string. We'll get into strings another time. There's my lure. I like these lures, these little
That one's kind of good.
these little rubbery lures. They have good action, as you can see right there. This is such an old rod.
Roddy Hunter.
Yeah, Roddy Hunter is the name that's on here.
There's a big rod.
Roddy Hunter. Yeah, it's a long rod.
And the string though.
It's a long rod, and this string isn't your typical fishing type string. Okay, this is more of like a nylon string. Okay, this is good string because the reason this is good is it doesn't get as tangled up as the other type. That
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's more expensive, but it is better. All right, now here's an old rod and a different kind of rod too. It's got like a cork type handle. This is very old. I don't know where I got this. Someone gave me this.
It is nice.
But hey, when you go fishing, you can't have enough rods and reels. Okay, You might want to bob with some and then cast with other ones. You know.
It all depends on where you are
Right.
and what you're feeling.
Right. Oh, another feature I forgot to show you on this is most of these reels. There's a little piece here that is meant to hold your string. So if you wanna reel your string out of the rod, okay, because you want to break your rod down, you reel it and then you wrap it around. There's a little piece here meant that where you can wrap the string around and it'll hold the string for you, okay. But this works the same way as the other one. All right, it's got a little selector knob where it locks your handle. You can only turn it one way to reel it in, or you can turn it in the other way and it'll go out and in. The string will go, the handle will turn in both directions, okay?
Okay.
If you flip it the other way,
It
can only go one way, right? And then you have this piece for casting.
Yep.
You open it up,
With your typical.
you
open.
can cast, right? As soon as you cast it, you want to set it by giving it a turn. This thing will flop back and lock it for you,
Yep.
okay? But this is a cork handle. Some people like these. They're very light, and they're good. They're good.
And the last rod we
The
have,
last one is, I don't even know.
it's a rod.
Oh, this is made by
Shimano.
Shimano also, same as the reel.
And what type is it? What does it say there?
Super ultra light.
FX 2550,
Yeah,
whatever.
it is very light. It's a
flimsy a little.
yeah, it's a little bit bigger than.
Looks like it's got.
It's
a nice,
like a mid-size. It's a mid-size, but it's very light.
Looks like it's got a nice grip to it too.
Yeah, it's very light. Yeah, it's got the foam grip. Okay, and again, where you put the reel, this one's a little bit different, but it works the same way. You set your reel in here, and it's got a piece here that screws it down and it holds it.
Yep.
Well, that's it, man. We're 22 minutes. I think I went long on this one.
No, I think we're good. So thank you all for watching. If you sneeze during this video, bless you. It's August 28th. We are 2 days away from, April. Oh my God, April 30th. 2 days away from April 30th. Man, I'm losing track of time. It's COVID, man.
It happens, man. It happens to me every day.
So
we're 2 days away from our
5 subscribers away from our goal of 30. If we hit 30 subscribers before April 30th, Boomer and Zoomer on the Street will be coming your way.
I hope we hit it. I have faith.
All you commenters and subscribers that are frequent, Professor Pete, Shadow of Fear, Alyssa, Lily, Blake Rogers, anyone else that's been commenting and liking, keep doing that and we'll keep putting out the content that you all love.
Keep watching our videos. Give us those thumbs ups and comments. We appreciate you. All right. That's it for this edition. Boomer and Zoomer. Peace out. Bam.
And y'all have a great night.